Okay, y'all, I have Lisa. Hello, Lisa.
Hello. McManus.
I'll make sure you still had that last name. Wasn't sure. Didn't want to be rude. We are going to do a reading for her, obviously. And I do know Lisa. I don't know a lot of her personal life, but I know Lisa. She is Zondra's daughter-in-law, basically. Alan passed away a year before Zondra did, her son. And this is who her son was married to, Alan McManus, Lisa McManus, for those that don't know. And she's taken over my dog, for those that don't know. And he gives lots of kisses. So, I do believe that Alan, her husband, is wanting to step forward first. Right. Leave that baby alone. Oh yeah, that's a good back scratch. It's a big color for that little thing. Okay. Sit. Rocky, sit down. Hard to concentrate with Rocky. So, I told you the other day that Alan had showed me that you and him were dancing, but he was showing me in the kitchen, and I don't know if that means something to you, but I already told you that, but he wanted to reiterate it was in the kitchen, because I told you I was dancing, but I didn't say where.
Mm-hmm.
He said,
You're gonna fall.
he said his departure was obviously, but clearly, he wanted to make it clear to you that his departure was an accident. He said he never meant to do that. He said he just went overboard and just did too much. He said he didn't mean to. He said, I would have never left you like that. He said, I've done a lot of wrong to you. He said, but I wouldn't have done that to you and my son to have found me. He said he's sorry that he wasn't there to continue to annoy you, aggravate you, but help with Justin, as much as he could. He said he's very proud of what I know she don't want to call herself by her name. Sage? Your daughter.
Brianna, yeah.
Yeah, but she doesn't call herself by her name.
Yeah, she's Sage.
Sage. He said, he just kind of laughed and said, ha, April just burnt some sage. Oh, Alan. That was bad. He always had those bad puns. He said, well, I'm not going to stop now. He said that he knows that he really gave you some hard times, he said, but he loved you like there was tomorrow. He really loved you. Wasn't like he said I was just mentally stupid. Maybe not mentally messed up, but he said I was mentally stupid and I could not kick habits. He said that he doesn't want to blame things on his childhood like some of us all do. Sometimes I used to be bad about it, but he said a lot of the internal hurt and anger and upset was caused from a lot that happened when he was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I really actually, even though I knew Alan, I really don't know about his childhood because Zondra never really talked about it. She would say that there was some guy, I don't even know the name of the guy actually, that was she allowed to, discipline them, but I really don't even know about Alan's childhood. He said he did a lot of dope growing when he was younger. He shows me big plants in his closet.
I never even knew that.
He said he got his he said him and his brother got their butts whooped when it was found.
I'm sure.
He said, but it was their little greenhouse inside the closet. But that does sound like him.
Yeah, it does.
He said that he does know that a lot of Justin's behavior is his fault. He said, you was too easy and I was too hard. He said, I was way too hard. He said, I never gave the boy a real chance. He said, but I watch over him now. He said, he's going to be okay. He said, the older he gets, the more mental capacity he's going to get, and the more he's going to realize this is not how I should behave. Mm-hmm. And he said that he holds anger. I'm not saying that he displays it. I'm saying that Alan's saying that he's holding it. He said he doesn't, for lack of a better word, he doesn't appreciate how his dad left him. Alan is saying it wasn't his time. He said, it wasn't my time, he said, but I helped him along. He said, by my own hands, I did it. Not on purpose. He said, but had I not been doing what I was doing, it would never happen. It wasn't my time. He said, I shortened my time with my family selfishly. He said, but when wasn't I selfish? When did I not screw up? He said, even if I had stayed, he said, really, would I have ever been a good father, the father that I should have been? He said, I don't know if I would have ever been. He said, I would be now. Now that I know what I know, now that I've seen what I've seen, he said, but I don't know that I would have ever been a good dad. He said, because I couldn't kick addictions. I couldn't kick my selfishness. I couldn't put myself aside and put my family first. He said, I just couldn't do it. He said, and I wanted to. He said, there was many times that I just wanted to throw my hands up and say, I'm not touching another thing. And he said, there's times I came close to being able to do that. He said, but I'd always resort back. Now that I don't know. I did know that he had some addiction problems, here and there, but I didn't know if he gave them up ever, I'm sorry. My baby, you guys. What are you doing? This is my normal. Alan is saying something about a van. The van. He was actually showing me the van earlier. It was an old van, the older van he had.
Mm-hmm. He sold it to a friend of his.
I'm sorry, some things I just can't get. But he's saying, and I may get it in a minute, but he's saying something about the van. It was good memories for him because y'all fit in it or something. It's so weird. But y'all all fit in the van. And was y'all singing in it or something? Or
probably. We had to go. We went a couple of places in it sometimes.
Okay, because he's showing me like a family singing, like Wheels on the Bus type singing. You know what I mean? Like family oriented, fun singing. And that's what he's telling me is that those were really good memories for him because he had everybody there. Spirit sometimes gets too close to me and they make me feel what they're feeling. So I have to back him up a little bit because he's emotional and it takes over my complete feelings. Now spirit cannot possess you, but they can make you feel what they're feeling, especially if they're close enough in my space. Mm-hmm. But he's just emotional, very emotional when he talks about having all y'all together as a family. He just wants to reiterate that. Sorry, don't cut it, but he wishes he'd have been different, because he could have gave you the life that you wanted, the trips you wanted. I'm going to say sailing, but it's more of a cruise.
I've always wanted to go on a cruise.
Sometimes when I can't get what they're saying, then they'll narrow it down. They'll go like, okay, look at sailing, and then look a little further.
Mm-hmm.
So I love when they do that, because they're very patient. Because their energy is beyond what we can imagine. So they have to really slow their energy down to get into our not so smart brains.
Well, I'm sure he knows that I finally got to go on a cruise.
Well, I'm sure he does. He said he definitely knows. He said you had a great time. He said he was there the whole time. He said, but I wish I could have been there to hold her hand through the sunsets and the sunrises. I'm sorry. Let me step on your toes. He said he loves your hair. He said he's always loved your hair.
I've always wanted to know, is he proud of the way that I've raised Justin without him?
He said that he's told you before, when you brought the question up, that he's proud of you. He said you just have to listen. He said I tell you all the time. He said, but you're still too easy.
Yeah, I know.
He said you're still way too easy on him. He said, but it is who you are, and that's okay. He said, because Justin will come into his own. Just like he was saying earlier, Justin will, the more mental capacity Justin gets with age, he'll come into his own and realize that, oh, this is not how it's supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be. He said he'll be more of a man than I was, and he'll be a better husband one day than I was. He said he will outshow me and outshine me.
Well, is he happy that I'm remarrying?
I was going to ask you about that earlier, and I should have before you said something. He is not upset. He said that's not what I look down on you for. You know, looking down on you, not like literally looking down on you, but looking down and over on you. He said, Rocky, stop. He said, I'm looking at you in your life with pure love. He said, there's no anger. He said, there's no anger here anyhow. He said, this is pure love and life and not life, but, you know, living. Okay, they don't live a life, but they do things like bringing in new souls and stuff like that. He said it's pure and loving, and they always use this word. It's a bliss that you'll never understand until you're there. And he said, you're not there anytime soon. They always say that too, unless they don't, and then I don't say anything.
And I want to see him again, but not today.
Yeah, no, it's not your time. He said that we can always do something to shorten our time. You know, like the daredevils and like Evil Knievel, you know, just things, you can shorten your time before it's your time. Finally, he sits down. He said he's very okay. He said, the man, I don't know this man. You don't tell me nothing about him, but I guess I know him. But the man doesn't know what to do with Justin. Doesn't know how to approach him. He doesn't know the best things to do or say. And sometimes it can come off as he don't want nothing to do with him, maybe sometimes. But he said that's not it. He said he just doesn't know how to come across.
And he don't. He don't. He's never had any kids of his own, so he don't actually even know what to do with kids.
Right. He said he just doesn't. He said don't. He said he's Rocky. I'm getting a bop bop. Where's that bop bop at? I'm getting your bop bop. You see this? You will lay down. So he said don't be alarmed by it and don't let it stop you. He said he's a good man. Treats you well. He said just don't be put off by it. He said it's not that he doesn't like Justin, not that he doesn't want to be around Justin. He said he just doesn't know how to handle him. He don't know. He's not being negative when he says that. He just don't know what to do with him. Mm-hmm. He said, so don't give up on him. He said the bond will get better through time. He said once you marry him, he said it's actually going to change a lot about him as well, in a positive way, not a negative way. He said he fully supports you moving on. That's what life's about. You have to move on. If you stay where you're at, you'll end up, he said, like me. If you stay continuously, is that fan too cold for you?
Oh, I'm fine. I got my jacket on.
If you stay continuously living and not moving on, then you end up on the other side having, issues like he did. Do y'all, you and this new man, do y'all have a date night set up, or is Alan trying to tell me that you guys should to put time aside for y'all?
Well, I mean, we go out every weekend. I tell him that we need to do a date night, but he says, we do a date night every weekend.
Okay. Well, Alan said he knows that, that's what you're saying. He said, but hey, stop. He said you need to actually tell him that you need a date night and mean it. He said, you're too easy. You need to tell him you want a date night beyond going out every weekend, because that's not a date night. That's not a time set aside for you two to go have dinner without alcohol. He said you need to stop some of that. He said he's literally showing me do you take shots? Mm-hmm. Okay, he's showing me you taking shots. He said enough's enough. He said you want to end up like him?
You've been doing a lot of Jaeger shots.
He said enough's enough. He's showing me you doing shots. He's not showing beer or whatever. I'm sure you drink whatever you drink, but he's really reiterating on the shots itself. He said that's enough. He said damn. He said whatever your purpose is, he said he thinks it's because you want to hang with the big boys, as far as if maybe you feel like if you stop going out so much that this guy's not going to want to be with you anymore. I don't know. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying this is what he's thinking. He said get over it. He said the guy's still going to love you. He's still going to want to marry you. He said but you have to live for you, and you have to get your shit together. Literally, he just said your shit together. He said you gotta get your shit together and stop with the alcohol so much. He said they do talk like they're still here. It is the way it is. But he said we all drink. He said but you're doing too much. He says it's unhealthy, as if we don't already know that. But Alan, he always had to tell you the obvious. Mm-hmm. But he said he's making sure they're behaving over there. He said it's unhealthy. He said it's pointless. He said, what's the point? I said, are you not happy? Do you need alcohol to continue to be happy? He said, if you need the alcohol to continue to be happy, then maybe you shouldn't be getting married. I think that's enough from his little smart mouth. He's just trying to tell you, calm down. He said it's really not good either for your liver or your kidneys. You got any issues with either one of those?
No.
He said you will.
Well, I'm pretty sure I will.
He said you will if you don't stop. He's not saying go be, the Pope. He's saying just calm down. He said because you've been doing this for a long time. This ain't just something since you met this man. What's this man's name?
Jesse.
Jesse. Since you met Jesse, he said you've been doing it since he's been gone. He said you're just gonna kill yourself. He said you want to be there for Justin. You want to see his kids. You want to see your grandkids and your great grandkids. He's talking really fast. I'm sorry. You want to see your kids, your great grandkids, your your grandkids and your great grandkids, then you'll stop. He said, put it to rest. And he's really pushing it too. I mean, he's really pushing it. He said, I don't care what anybody thinks of you, and you won't be the party girl, or you won't be the one to hang with. He said, I don't give a shit. He said, you're killing yourself, and my son has already lost me. He said, don't do this, please. And everybody is of free will, so you can do whatever you want, but he's asking me not to do so much. I'm making sure he gets everything out before I switch over, because Zondra's next. I can feel her. So I'm going to make sure that he says everything he wants to say. And but it won't be the last thing, because they'll never shut up. Believe me, I'll be calling you going, okay, this is what else he said. Because it really, that's how they continue. Do you have, well, I mean, I know you have some of this stuff. I know that, obviously. I still have some of Zondra's stuff. Is there his ring?
His wedding ring?
Yeah. Okay.
I've got it put away so Justin can have it when he gets married.
He's telling me, thank you. Thank you for holding on to that. And thank you for giving it to Justin one day. He said, because Justin will eventually appreciate it. He said, right now he wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
He said, right now Justin's not appreciating too much. He said, but he will. He'll grow into his own man, and he will.
Yeah.
He said, he won't be like me. He keeps saying, that boy's not going to be like me.
I hope not.
He said, just keep doing what you're doing with him. He said, but you gotta listen to what we've always been telling you. You gotta, he came up with the word man up, but you gotta start being a little harder on him, or he will go in the wrong direction.
Well, he was suspended from school 2 days ago.
Fighting? He literally just showed me that his son was fighting. He said that his anger. He said he's just angry. He said he's mostly angry at me. He said, first of all, I was a shit father. He said, I left y'all all the time. And I wasn't there for Justin, and when I was too hard on him. He said, but he's really angry that I left him. No matter how bad of a father I was, he's angry that I left. Because he knows I didn't have to. He knows I didn't have to leave like that. I made a decision to do too much, and I made it knowing that I could possibly harm myself on accident. But I could possibly harm myself. I still made that decision, and I left my son, and that's what he's angry about. He said, I don't know if he is or if he needs to be in therapy for that. Not anything else. I mean, everything else is okay, but he's saying that is the reason my son needs some really good help. It's because he's angry I left him. He said no matter what he may say in therapy or may say to you, he said he's angry because of what I did. He said because I didn't have to go. He said I'm angry at myself for it. All right. He does want to, again, acknowledge the wedding ring. He said it still does, and it did then mean the world to him. He said, whether you don't realize, whether you, by my actions, you don't see that. When I was here on earth, he said, I really did love her so much. And she was always, he's saying something beyond this, but she was always just so beautiful. But he's saying something more. I don't know what he's saying. Maybe it was a pet name, or he had for you a special name. But anyways, he's just trying to tell you that you were the love and the light of his eyes, the love of his life. You were just everything to him. He just didn't know how to be a good human being. He said, I wasn't even a good son. I wasn't a good friend. he said, I would be now. He said, but he knows it's too late. But he says, I want you to move on with your life and be happy. He said, I'm watching over my son. I'm doing the best I can. I think we're going to let Alan go on that one just because time restraint also. But if he says, well, he will say. He says before we let him go, not literally let him go, but before he goes, he said that he wants to tell you that he hears you talk to him. He sees you walk by his pictures and go, man, that was a good looking man, or, you know, whatever your words would be in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Do you pick up his pictures at all? Like any that's laying around, or have you went into your drawer and looked at any, or, because he's literally like, maybe he's showing me that.
Now, yesterday I did hug his little pillow with his shirt on it.
Okay, that's going to be it right there. So, he said that's my validation, that I am there and I'm looking at you and I'm watching you, and not in a creepy kind of way.
Well, I've always wanted to know is, you know, and I've told you this before, that the second, because I've always felt his presence in that house, and the second you called me and told me that Zondra died, I haven't felt it since.
You have not felt him?
I haven't felt his presence in that house since the second you told me Zondra died.
Okay, he said that he is still there. He said what happened and what's happening is, if he doesn't back up some, you're not going to move on. He said, I'm there. He said, you can count on it. He said, but I've got to back up because she may be on the outside let go, she ain't letting go. She's not moving forward like she should, even though she's getting married. She's still not moving forward like she should in her own heart. Now, she loves this man. I'm not saying she don't want to marry this man. It's just a thing that we do as humans. We don't want to let go of the people that we loved. Who does? Mm-hmm. You know, so he said, he said, never fear. He said, I am right here. He said, I'm always right here. He said, all you got to do is speak his name. And if you'll listen, if you ask him something and you'll listen, the first thought that comes into your head is your answer that he gave you. Because their answers are faster than what we can comprehend on earth. Faster than the sonic boom, speed of light. Their answers come faster than our brains can even handle. We just don't even know. But
I've also wanted to know about the picture I took of his grave with the cross growing in the grass.
I'm not sure about that picture. Did you put it on Facebook?
Mm-hmm. I think I sent it to you the day I left the cemetery.
You want me to remember something? Okay, sure. I'll write that down. Lisa said, April, remember stuff. Jeez. Okay, so I don't remember it, but I will try to remember it. How long ago was that? 5 years ago?
It was after Sandra died.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Because it never was there until she died, and then I had went to go visit his grave, and it was there. And I said, it's almost like he was waiting on her to move on. And then I said, that's got to be a sign that he made it to heaven.
Okay, so he said it had nothing to do with her moving on. He said that was for you. He said because you were destroyed. And even at that time, you were still destroyed and still, should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? Should I, be dating? Should I do this? Even at that time, you were still back and forth in your head. He said it was for you. He said, you're the one that comes there. He says, for you. He said it was for the understanding of everything's okay. I'm okay. And people are so wrong in a lot of the religions. When you cross over, we all cross over. Every one of us. whether you committed suicide, which you did not, I don't want people thinking you committed suicide. He did not commit suicide. But whether you accidentally kill yourself through bad things or whether you kill yourself, how do you think that we as mediums are able to communicate with people that have killed themselves? Because they're over there with God. God is nothing but love. He's not sending everybody to damnation. He's love. Alan is there. Alan was something else, but he's there. He's not in damnation. He said, I'm not burning up. He said, I don't even need an air conditioner. He's not funny. He said, I don't even need air conditioning. He said, my God is love. And this is why I want to do this full time, is because people just don't get it, how lucky we are when we actually do cross over. But, okay, Alan, I am so sorry, but I do have to let you go. And he is apologizing to me right now for, he was pretty crappy when he was here, several times to me. But as I've told him and anybody that has ever been a problem in my life that has crossed over, not worry about it, because they're not who they used to be. And I can't hold on to my past if I'm going to do the future of this. So, Alan, thank you for being here. And Zondra's been like...
chomping at the bit?
Yeah, chomping at the bit. She's patient. I'm not. Rocky's like, oh, okay. All right. So, Zondra, I have actually not connected with Zondra because, as I just told you, I have no reason to hear that I'm sorry or that, because I have forgiven all that. They have went past it. I've went past it. All I want to do now is bring healing to everybody else because I'm healed. I really am. Maybe not physically, but emotionally I am. Okay. Whew. She's long-winded.
She got a lot to say.
Okay. First of all, first thing she wants to say is, if I only had a brain. And I know that is a thing between y'all. I already know about that, but that's something that she wants to tell you. Because she wants to make sure that you understand that it is her that is here with us now. She said that she really wants to say this, and I got to get her to back up. She really wants to say that she really respects and appreciates how you stuck by her son, no matter what he ever did to you. You bounced right back, and you did everything you could to put up with him. That's what she just said. I hate not saying exactly what they say, so that's what I did. She said he was SOB. She said he's not now. She said, but he was an SOB, and he's here with me. She said, I was there to greet him the minute he crossed over. Like I said, me and her haven't talked, so she's actually thanking me for being there to take care of her, and at the moment that she crossed over, and my family. She's also wanting to bring up that she appreciates you being the only one that would come help me out of her family. She's not being negative, she wants to be positive. Out of her family to come help me change the diapers at that time. She said you were doing something, she said, but you couldn't get there fast enough. She said, thank you. She said, because all I had was April. Her emotions are coming to me from you. She said, I love you so much. She said, there is no bitter woman. She said, I might have teased you about your ditziness. She said, she said, not only would I just teasing you, she said, but you are more of a woman than I've ever known in my life. To be able to stand by my son like that. She said, it didn't matter what he did. She said, how did you do that?
I still don't know.
She said, it didn't matter. She said, you took that marriage as for better or worse, for life or death. You took it, and you meant it, and you weren't going nowhere no matter what. She says she knows that you wanted to go somewhere, But there's a difference between wanting to do something and a difference between doing something.
Mm-hmm.
She said, you didn't. She said, okay, I'm going to literally say what she just said. I'm going to kiss you. She said, I'm going to kiss your ass for that. She said, because I got fed up with this shit and I finally got tired. She said, but you didn't. And you weren't even his mother. You weren't even blood. His blood, you know what I'm saying. She considered you family and blood, but she's saying that, you know, you weren't his blood. She said, I couldn't put up with it. She said, she just wants to bless you for what you did. She said, you pulled through when he needed you the most. She said, I did too, but I gave up after 40 years. I don't know. She said 30 or 40 years. She said, I finally gave up. She said, not Lisa. Lisa still took everything he had to give. And she said, you want to talk about Wonder Woman? She said, she's showing me you spinning and doing the Wonder Woman thing.
And I do it all again in a minute.
Yeah, she said she knows that. She knows that you love him deeper than what we really even realized. We didn't realize, huh? She said, I didn't realize. No, I didn't either. She said, I didn't realize how much Lisa loved him. She said, a lot of times I really just thought Lisa was a goofball. You know? She said, but she wasn't. She wasn't and she's not. And she's be taken serious. Because when she loves and when she's dedicated through marriage, you know, what you do outside of marriage to her is like, who cares? But what you do inside of marriage, she said, pin a medal on you. That's what she said. She said, you went to war, you stayed there, you survived. She said, Purple Heart. I know what a Purple Heart is, but I can't remember what it actually stands for. So I'm going to look it up.
I think it's like the highest medal you can get in it.
I know it's a really, intense thing, but I'm not military, so I don't know. But I'm going to look it up anyhow.
Okay.
She loves the candle. I think it just went out. She's smelling it. And she asked that we would light it. It did go out.
I thought I smelled something burning.
Zandra loved her candles. She was a candle hoarder.
Yes.
Hi, sweet baby. All right, Rock Bear. I'm not up for you now. You know you got your bot right here. Mm-hmm. He never even got touched with this thing, but it scares him to death. A little paper towel roll. All right. Now that she said she's kissed your ass, that's her talking. You know that's her talking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now that she says she's kissed your ass, she said she would like to, of course, apologize for the family meetings. She said, I was harder on Lisa than I was my own damn son, and he was one causing all the havoc. She said, I was so hard on her, and she was taking care of my son better than I could ever or anybody else. She said, nobody else tolerated him. She's saying me, as in April. April didn't tolerate him. I got fed up with him. She said it took a lot of years of Alan